The angel of peace motions you, and you follow. Proceeding on past the altar of the secret rays and down another hallway, you descend a flight of stairs leading to the great hall of peace. This is actually in the center of the temple, architecturally patterned after the hall you have just passed through, except on a larger scale. You arrive at the hall of peace. Immediately upon entering, you feel the serenity of the eternal presence of the great flame of infinite peace. Looking around, you see the great hall is circular with 12 beautifully carved Grecian-style pillars evenly spaced on the circular walls around the periphery of the room. Between the pillars are 12 doors leading to 12 circular anterooms, one of which is the room through which you just passed, where the secret rays are focused. The walls are covered with the most exquisite mosaic murals commemorating the masters of peace, Jesus, Gautama, Saint Francis, and many more. The floor is an incredible jeweled material with a variegated purple and gold motif. Looking up, you see a gigantic dome rising more than 10 stories above you. The ceiling is a brilliant golden hue. It is higher than the great hall is wide, creating a spectacular. This glorious vaulted dome of heaven rests upon the circle of pillars and is constructed of a translucent, crystalline material. It is many orders of magnitude more beautiful than any stained glass cathedral window you have ever seen. It looks like and is a replica of a giant solar plexus chakra. The center is a brilliant topaz gold, radiating brilliant rays of the sun. Around this sun center are 10 deep purple petals, outlined in ruby fire, that reach out to the periphery of the room. The brilliance of the great central sun radiating through its center fills the great hall with a most magnificent star fire light. The angel of peace motions you. You follow him to the center of the great hall, where burns the sacred flame of cosmic Christ peace. You kneel in reverence at this most holy flame. Looking up, you see the spectacular flame rises out of a bowl-shaped sunken altar in the center of the great floor. It is a shaft of radiant golden purple light, flecked in ruby, ascending to an elevation of about 3 times the height of a tall man. It is radiating the most amazing ribbons of cosmic Christ peace through the entire sanctuary. These ribbons come up to the walls and pass through the walls of the great hall and spread out over the entire planet as a network of cosmic Christ consciousness. Angel of Peace says, see now these ribbons penetrating the planet. See them engulfing and surrounding everything of nature, every elemental, every light bearer, every inch and erg of energy on planet Earth. Penetrate now deeply the rhythms of peace. Penetrate, penetrate, penetrate the earth with the flame of peace, the original power of the Godhead. Without nothing can come under God control. Let the peace commanding presence of the Christ go forth. Let it fill the earth with the flame of Elohim, with the fire of peace and aloha, with their mighty flame, and let it manifest the coming of the age of gold of Saint Germain. Let it be so, says our beloved angel. You standing now and looking, you see directly opposite on the other side of the hall are the magnificent thrones of Elohim. In this glorious throne area, the builders of form have fashioned the most exquisite chairs for peace and aloha. They are carved from ivory and studded with the most exquisite, rare, fiery, deep purple alexandrite stones, brilliant sun yellow topazes, and the deepest red rubies you have ever seen. The thrones are upholstered in a richly woven silk brocade material. Magnificent golden white winged doves circle above the thrones. You now become aware of the sound of priestly chanting as the brothers and sisters who serve in this retreat procession around the sacred flame. They are marching in holy reverence, in peace, tranquility, marching in a calm we've never seen before. In the air above circle 10,000 purple and gold angels. The angel of peace next to you begins to levitate in the air. He takes his place in the center of these legions of the sixth ray of peace as they continue to chant along with the priestly brotherhood. The priests come to a standstill, sitting down in lotus posture on golden velvet cushions that materialize around the sunken altar. They form a semicircle facing the great thrones. Their robes are flowing silk, the color of molten gold, held in place with deep purple ashes. You stand in stillness and silent joy and awe and thanksgiving as you hear their celebration of the word in their masterful release of the mantra. And as you see these priests continue to release the power of the word, you see the precipitation of a large, fiery, blazing sun appearing over their navel area, reflecting the dazzling, blinding light of the great central sun in all directions. Finally, after a seeming eternity, one of the priests stops chanting, turning to you saying, "Welcome, blessed initiate of peace." And raising his hand, another cushion appears for you to sit on. The priest looks at you with a gaze of infinite wisdom and tranquility. Blessed heart of living fire, he says, I tell you truly that while many initiates, when they first arrive here, have thought they have attained to peace, the Elohim dispel that notion quickly. The reality is shocking to these new arrivals as they find out that 99% of their consciousness and energy is outside of the flame of peace. I open your eyes to the fact, dear one, that the flame of peace is so tremendously powerful that you may only have 1% of it and still feel a tremendous power of peace in your life. I speak to you then of the underdeveloped solar plexus chakra, a condition prevalent in the masses of humanity today. The solar plexus is the seat of the feeling world, the turbulent anchoring point of, and the passageway to the desire body, and the governor of the emotions. In the masses of humanity, it is the desire body that almost entirely controls their state of consciousness. This feeling body contains a greater amount of God's energy than any of the other three bodies. It is a giant ocean of energy and moves to and fro as the tides of the sea. This is why your Gautama taught all suffering is caused by inordinate desire. For it is your desires that can be so overwhelming that they essentially control the entire flow of energy in the psyche and in your outer awareness. We teach the way of the solar plexus, your 10-petaled chakra at the navel, as the key to developing the mastery of the desire body. We teach the way of the sixth ray, God's desiring to be God within you. And through this gift of God's desiring for peace, God's children engage in ministration and service to all life. We teach that the solar plexus must be trained to be calm and still, trained to hold and retain the tremendous forces of the central sun without agitation. And it was for this very reason that our beloved Elohim Peace introduced to the students of the Ascended Masters the efficacious use of a finely tuned cosmic instrument called the Great Sun Disk. This disk of light that descends from cosmic heights when you invoke it reinforces your tube of light at the most vulnerable point, the solar plexus. So we recommend daily to don the whole armor of God, the full measure of protection. When you place this great sun disk over your solar plexus, see it as a two-sided reflector. The outer face, a mighty shield, deflecting the discord of the outer world, repelling every force of war and anti-peace. And the inner face, a great mirror, shining the light of the great central sun magnet, the great power of tranquility to still all inner turbulence, to still the warring in your members, until the stormy waters of your desire body become a sea of glass, a giant reflecting pool for the desires of your higher self, mirroring here below what is above. As you work with this spiritual technology day by day, month by month, you will come to find your solar plexus becoming the place of the sun, becoming the found chakra where cosmic Christ peace will be established in you. I tell you truly that the energies that you can draw from the desire body of God using this magnet of the sun presence within this solar plexus and stored as a reservoir of living water in the great sun disk are indeed unlimited. Let the powers of peace prevail. Let rivers of living water flow from the belly. Let the forces of anti-peace go down. Peace, be still, and know that I am God. Know that I am the Elohim of peace, where I am Suddenly, with a flash of light more brilliant than lightning and the roar of thunder, you see the Elohim peace and aloha materialize on their thrones. Their heads hold the crown of Elohim, and they are dressed in the most dazzling silk robes. Aloha in a lighter purple, and peace in a deep, deep purple. The robes are studded throughout with small, sparkling rubies, and are held in place by a golden sash around the waist. Their auras fill the room with the most beautiful golden light that spreads throughout the sanctuary like an oil, with the color and fluidity of molten gold. The mighty Elohim of the sixth ray now stands. He is a towering figure of about 15 feet high. Peace raises his hand above his head. He is holding the two-edged sword of peace that shines with the golden liquid sun of the Christ consciousness. This is the two-edged sword that defends the consciousness of the Christ, swinging both ways to cleave asunder the real from the unreal. You shield your eyes as this brilliant sword and its dazzling light is so intense. This flaming sword of peace becomes a circle of fire, an arc of peace, drawing from out the great central sun angels and cosmic beings who form a circle 1,000 miles across this fiery core of peace, which the Elohim have drawn with their sword. His gaze becomes fixed upon you. He looks at you in all his majesty with eyes of eternal wisdom and begins to speak.
Peace, be still and know that I am Elohim, peace. And where I am, there is the peace of aloha. I am that I am peace in you. And I am called of God from the beginning unto the ending, in the cycles of this activity, to establish the cosmic Christ flame of peace. And in my original dictation, beloved, I did release a prayer for peace that I did ask the students to offer. May this prayer be yours. May you use it daily, and may you visualize a large, fiery, blazing sun at the solar plexus, the place of the sun, the place where cosmic Christ peace must be established in you. Shaft of golden light and purple, flecked in ruby, descending upon you now, is for the alignment of chakras and the healing of your physical organs and their etheric counterparts. Be seated in my shaft of peace, beloved. Peace, be still, and know that the I am that is God in me is the God where you are. I am Alpha this day. You are my Omega counterpart. And beloved, Aloha does place her electronic presence over you, that you might know and enjoy the flame of God in the sixth ray. Therefore I am come, and therefore I have been given the mandate to keep the flame of peace in this activity. I come as a cosmic teacher, beloved. I come to tell you that where there is not God harmony, there cannot be God peace. Thus harmony is the other side of peace, and peace the other side of harmony. Know then the white fire, know the central sun of being, establish that sun. When you achieve the balance of harmony, beloved, then you can hold the greatest light. You have called this harmony the yin and the yang, the alpha and the omega, the plus and the minus, and it is so. when you find that equilibrium at each level of your being, beloved, and become alchemists of your own temple, you shall see how much more of God you can hold within those vessels of chakras, organs, and all the components of being. Yes, beloved, I am peace. Where there is the warring in the members, where there is the teetering and tottering of the imbalance from day to day between the emotions and the thoughts, where there is not strength and fire raised up as the virya of the Buddha in yourself, how can we add unto you increments of fire when the fire would only make matters worse? Thus there must be surrender to your God to have peace. There must be the all-desiring of God to have peace. Did not the great one of peace, Gautama, teach you that inordinate desiring is suffering, and that this is the cause of suffering? If you suffer then on a daily basis, warring in your mind and body and burdened by those conditions, I give you the opportunity this day. Yes, beloved, I say, this is the day when the heavens have opened, when the causal body of both of your messengers has opened. This is the day when you can say, enough. I have had done with my human creation, and I choose to enter the path of the Elohim of peace. I choose to now receive the original endowment of peace that Elohim Peace gave upon the founding of this organization. I shall become that point of peace to which every angel ministering on earth shall have recourse. Yes, in my heart the flame of peace shall abide. Therefore I shall be unmoved. I shall not be moved by what does transpire anywhere outside the circle of my being or within it. This day I have said, enough is enough. I am the victim of my own wrong desiring. I am the victim of my abuse of my 4 lower bodies. I am the victim of my karma. And this day I say, I shall no longer be the victim of myself, but I shall be the instrument of God. I shall walk out from this court of King Arthur, and I shall keep my vow to keep my counsel, keep my peace, keep the sealing of my words, the flashing forth of dark thought or feeling, the revolving of the memory. I can do all of this, for I am the child of the heart of El Moria, my beloved. I can do all of this because my God is with me. I have a path. I have Maitreya. I have a messenger whom I can see and touch, and who will love me and comfort me and help me and rebuke me and lead me. Yes, I am in the best possible position that my karma allows me to be in, for I know there is no injustice anywhere in the universe, and I am truly convinced that there is mercy beyond mercy, that I have this opportunity this day to remake myself by the power of Elohim in the image and likeness of Almighty God, by the power of the Word with Brahman in the beginning. Yes, I will work with Elohim of peace. And I know that because God sent Elohim to endow this activity, that this activity is sponsored from the Elohimic level, and all the power of Elohim is upon me, and the mighty chalice of the resurrection flame in the heart of the inner retreat. Yes, I shall take the dispensations of Elohim, for they are power in the 7 rays. They are the power of Alpha and Omega, and I shall remake myself that I might carry the spiral of the next 33 years of this activity until the summit lighthouse transcends the octaves, here below and as above, and its beams shed their powerful light into the depths of death and hell, so that souls caught in those levels may follow the beam to the heart of their I am presence and receive the archangel's deliverance. Yes, I will walk in the living flame of peace. I shall be a true pilgrim of peace, and I shall show the two-edged sword dividing the real from the unreal, binding the engines and elements of war. Yes, I know the meaning of true peace, and I know it is not pacifism. I know that the power of peace will swallow up the records of war upon this planet as I take the mantra, peace be still and know that I am God. Peace be still and know that I am God. Peace be still and know that I am God. Peace be still and know that I am God. May you say it with the fire I have given. I speak to all who come to study, those who would be ministering servants, those who would be chelas and disciples, those who would pursue their professions now at hand. I say to you, beloved, learn to release the fire of the heart, the sacred fire, and to be infilled again, and learn it with this mantra. Hear how it is spoken. Peace be still and know that I am God. Blessed ones, it is not volume, it is the power of the release of sacred fire. Peace be still and know that I am God. Thus the fire goes forth, beloved, and the power is released. May you practice, may you feel the light raised up in the chakras by your mantras and meditations, by your devotions, and may you learn that the most powerful fiat and decree you can utter is the one which you endow with the sacred fire. Learn of me, learn of your messengers, and understand that some defy the power of God and will not speak forth when called upon to do so. They consider it beneath them to raise their voices, to let the Lord's power flow through them. It is a defiance of God, beloved, to refuse to raise the voice above a common conversational tone. And it is also the defiance of God to raise that voice in anger. Therefore, be in God control and know when is the moment to let the volume rise, to reach a heart enslaved, a heart and a soul and a body infested with demons who cannot hear you unless the fire goes forth to strip from them that which does assail them. Be ashamed then to be called a minister of God if you refuse to master the spoken word and the delivery of the fohat. You will have it when you let the sacred fire of the mother rise within you. Let it be at first an imitation in the privacy of your own room or as you walk alone in the hills. Yes, beloved, it does take practice, and it does take the call to Elohim and archangels and the Mahachohan. But the fire of the spoken word must go forth. As far as we are concerned, the definition of prophet, messenger, and apostle comes from the level of fire that is in the individual, and none can achieve to that calling unless ordained by God. The calling of prophet, of messenger, of apostle. Thus those who would become the ministering servant, beloved, must know it is a step in the right direction, and yet this power must go forth from you in time of need, and you cannot rise to another level of appointment until you achieve some measure of the power of God by obedience to his will, by surrender and sacrifice and service. Yes, beloved, you see, until you have it, it is dangerous for you to have the next and the next mantle. Therefore, make your peace with the power of God that is his will, and know that peace is God harmony, peace is God control, and peace is God reality. I could speak on of power, and I shall for a moment, but I shall also leave to the meditation of your heart the necessity for the establishment of the blue flame cross in your world. And when you make that sign 9 times, think in your heart when you make the sign of the cross, I am God power, God harmony, God reality, God control. This is my blue flame cross, and I reject all misqualifications of that blue flame cross in my world. This is the stumbling block to Christhood and the non-fulfillment of some. Yes, beloved, power must become something in the hand and the heart, something in the throat chakra, something in the mind that is there as a resource, that when you encounter evil, that light flashes forth from you because it is of God, and not because you force it, and not because you enter into the human. Yes, beloved, be at peace in the centeredness of God power in our definition of the word in the 4 quadrants of the cardinal signs. Yes, beloved, be at the center of peace, so that when there is danger and challenge of your office, God shall release the power through you, whether you speak in the still small voice of fire or the power of that fire. Comprehend my meaning, beloved, for the cycles become physical and the challenges so. We, Elohim, come to your aid. We, Elohim, say, come to our level and know the ultimate protection and the ultimate chelaship. I am peace. I am the peace commanding presence of the cosmic Christ. I am the peace commanding presence of Almighty God. Therefore I command you, peace, be still, and know that the I am in you is God. Be ashamed to violate that peace. And now I charge every one of you, from the least unto the greatest, as you perceive yourselves. You must receive the gentle rebuke from anyone of this community when you abandon your point of peace. Let every brother and sister remind one another, regardless of rank or position, or background or standing. Where there is the breaking of harmony and the breaking of peace, there is the fracturing of the mandala. Many tiny fractures in this mandala need healing. Therefore, do not react when someone in the still small voice of peace reminds you to return to your center, reminds you that whether in thought or feeling or word or vibration or in purpose or in plan, you have departed from peace. Take the reminder, beloved, and thank that one with all your heart. Call immediately upon the law of forgiveness. I ask you to become a fountain and a foundation of cosmic Christ peace, and thereby know our presence in your midst. The byword of the peacemakers, beloved. His eye shall not be moved. Blessed are the peacemakers. Thus the peacemaker must challenge the vibration of non-peace. But non-peace is not the power of God that resounds from the heart of peace and power. Some think if another raise his voice, he is out of alignment. It is whether the raised voice is charged with anger and condemnation, or whether it is charged with fire. And if there be a dispute, then let it be committed to the flame, or referred to the messenger, or the council of the board of directors. Yes, beloved, disciples require the rebuke, and those who rebuke are not always perfect. Yet when they do counsel you, let them first take a backward step and say, "Peace, be still, and know that the I am God in me is the I am God in that one, and I go forth to establish Christ's peace, to teach a lesson, to correct an error. Therefore, O God, seal me in my tube of light, the violet flame, the mantle, and the armor of God, that I speak the word of truth and yet hold the God harmony of peace. Think what a magnet this shall be. It shall be the greatest anti-war manifestation on the face of planet Earth. This is my prediction and my prophecy. Will you make it come true?
Yes.
I, Elohim, peace and aloha, hold you to your word. The law does hold you to your word, and so does El Moria. Thus, I withdraw to the flame in your heart to assist you in keeping that flame of cosmic Christ peace.
Thank you, beloved Elohim, peace, for your teaching that can on the instant bring us into the realms of peace. O Elohim of peace, come forth, assert thy dominion everywhere in mind, body, and feeling of mankind, that no one will be able to intrude in harmony into their worlds. Great powers of light, clothe the beloved children of earth in the seamless garment of peace.